Well, the Arizona Diamondbacks complete their 27th comeback win of the season thanks to Lourdes Gurriel's pinch hit heroics. We have more on everything the offense did tonight and, of course, what we're going to do with Jordan Montgomery right now on the PHNX D-Back Show. Let's go! All. Of course, welcome in to another edition of the PHNX D-Backs podcast. Some of us are in Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. Some of us are in our homes, thanks to our wonderful friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. But this show is brought to you, of course, by Bet365. I'm broken right now. I'm sorry, but download the Bet365 app right now and use code PHNX365 when you sign up, choose your offer, and find out why it is never ordinary at Bet365. Of course, my name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor, PHNX. This man next to me is Archie Bradley. No, it's not. It's the one and only Damon Dog himself. And yeah, I mean, we're both trying to get there. There's a lot of beard envy going on this show right now. So of course, that man is the people's producer, though, not the people's pitcher like Archie is. But the Diamondbacks maybe could have used Archie tonight with the way that this bullpen kind of made things a little scary. However, they held things together nicely and they helped the Diamondbacks finish off the sweep of the Marlins. I can say the S word now. Diamondbacks complete the sweep, winning this finale by a score of 10-8. The D-backs have now swept. I'm saying it a lot. D-backs have swept 3 of their last 5 series. They have now won 13 of their last 15 series. And as I alluded to there in the beginning, this is the 27th comeback win of the season for the Answerbacks. Damon, this one, you're not going to be proud of this one at the end of the day, but you have to admit that this team continues to not quit. They refuse to quit. And of course, it's another day where it looked like they kind of might have been taking the L, and instead they leave Lone Depot Park there with a win.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 games really haven't been that pretty, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. And
No.
you know, we'll take a look at the stats later for the series in the show. But to be honest with you, Derek, I mean, it wasn't the prettiest series by any stretch. But what matters is the W's at the end of the day, because the Diamondbacks, well, like early in the season, we were playing good baseball and losing a lot of really close games on the margins. Sometimes it's just about getting that W. But with that stumble early in the show, I was ready to hop on the phone and call the bullpen, because I thought we already, hasn't it been made clear to you at this point that if you make mistakes, we have backup, we have someone to come out of the pen.
Yeah, no, I mean,
replace you.
I don't even get a chance to fix my mistakes. I don't even get a chance for the offense to back me up the way they backed up Jordan Montgomery today on his bad outing. But the Diamondbacks did exactly that in this one. It was a back and forth game with the Marlins, and of course, I will try to be at my best, definitely knowing that Archie is just a phone call away. He's probably watching right now, judging me, waiting for me to screw up, just looking for that opportunity to slide into my spot in the starting rotation, but not so fast. I will say this. Jack J in the chat, Damon, said sweep with the fishes, and I am furious that that's not our thumbnail. I am so mad. I might have to hire Jack to help me out when I kind of struggle here with
that's
the
a miss on you. That's kind of, Derek, let's be honest. Those thumbnail titles is kind of the sole reason we pay you what we pay you at this company. And for you to do that, it's pretty egregious.
I mean, this is a bad night. This is a bad night on the mound for me. But again, the Diamondbacks might back me up with the way that they backed up this team today. Pavin Smith, of course, got things going on early in the first inning when the Diamondbacks loaded the bases. He brought in the first run with a sac fly, but they weren't able to capitalize there early. And despite the fact that they did get 1 run in, of course, they immediately gave up the lead. And a squandered opportunity there with a lot of runners in scoring position early. They also had runners or the bases loaded later in the game, and they were much more effective in that situation. But again, back and forth game. You had the lead kind of going back and forth between these two teams. Down 2-1 in the third. Jake McCarthy hit that 2-run home run that scored Perdomo and put the Diamondbacks back up 3-2. A lot of changes in the win probability in this one, but of course, the reason why the Diamondbacks needed all that offense tonight was due to the bad outing there from Jordan Montgomery. And of course, he's kind of the talk right now of Diamondbacks fans on the internet. Jordan Montgomery gave you 5 2/3 innings tonight. He allowed 10 hits, gave up 6 earned runs, and walked 1, struck out 4. Did not look very good, allowed 2 home runs. And of course, this is while the Diamondbacks are still trying to figure out what they're going to do with their starting rotation. As it stands, we do have news today that Torey Lovullo has kind of backtracked, even though we kind of joked about it yesterday. He's backtracked on the idea that they're not going to go with a 6-man rotation. And due to the way that things line up for them as their matchups go, it appears that at least they're going to go with a 6-man rotation through this next time through. And that was only if Jordan Montgomery could get through today's outing without the need of going to Ryan Nelson out of the bullpen. It looked almost like they were going to need to do that there in the 4th inning because things went very bad for Jordan Montgomery. He was oddly good and bad at times in this same outing, right?
Yeah.
Like there was a stretch where he sat down, I believe, 9 in a row. And after giving up 2 runs in the 1st inning, looked like he got things back on track. But then the 4th inning really went sideways on him, gave up a lot of hits, a lot of hard contact, and he gave up those 4 earned runs in the 4th inning. And that's really where things kind of fell apart. And it looked like the Diamondbacks were not going to be able to finish off this sweep.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Montgomery just continues to be pretty underwhelming for this team. It's a situation right now where it's clear as day that like money is the biggest factor in him continuing to start.
It absolutely
and when you're a fan of a team, that really sucks. Like that's not something that, someone that is not paying the guy, it's hard for us to be like, because we just want what's best for the team. We just want to get W's. So when we just see this guy go out time after time and just look pretty bad, honestly, like it's frustrating, especially when Ryan Nelson, who the guy he's competing with for that spot, has looked so good recently, So it's tough with Monty. I hope the D-backs kind of show that cutthroat side of them that they've shown recently. And I just think that they're giving this guy a little bit more leeway because frankly, they've had to up to this point, but at some point that leash has got to end.
Benjamin Hunley, thank you so much for your super chat. Benjamin says 2024 is not the year that you let business decisions override baseball decisions.
Yep, 100%.
R.E. Monty. And you're absolutely right about that. However, the Diamondbacks might view this differently. And when I say differently, I don't just mean financially differently, because we know that. There's no doubt about it. But again, they are kind of stuck with Jordan Montgomery, not only this year, but next year, if he didn't turn things around, right? Like there was motivation there for the Diamondbacks to have Jordan Montgomery be better. And part of that motivation is not only for him to be a better part of this team and to help this team win more baseball games, but the idea there is that potentially he gets things going in a way where there will be potential suitors this offseason that would want to give Jordan Montgomery a bigger, longer-term deal than just the 1 year player option that he has with the Diamondbacks.
It's weird. However, it's weird to think about.
Right? Like, because you kind of want him to be out there. You kind of want him, it's like, again, it's like a relationship that you want to end, but you don't want to end it. So you kind of just hope the other person cheats on you. And that's what we're waiting for here is we're waiting for Jordan Montgomery to catch the eye of some sexy other team that might lure him away next season. Right.
But also in the process, you're like building him up, like on your Instagram.
Right,
you're
right.
Like,
oh yeah,
isn't she
look how
beautiful?
hot she is. Let's take some poolside like bikini pics, babe. Yeah, like totally like that. Like you're helping her out with all the glamour shots and everything.
Mm-hmm.
My thought here is that Jordan Montgomery, right? There is also the idea that he could return to form, and the Diamondbacks could very much regret not having him next year if he goes through a regular spring training and a regular normal offseason, which he didn't have this year, right? I know that at this point of the season that's bullshit, right? Like, I'm not trying to still make excuses for the guy, but this has been an erratic year for him, and it would not surprise me in the slightest with the Diamondbacks' luck with starting pitchers they acquire through free agency if this man went out and shoved next year for a different team, if that happened, right? But there's also the idea that he could still shove for this team next year, and both sides just might be obligated to deal with that. Like, that might just be something that neither side is going to change at this point, because Jordan Montgomery won't be getting, maybe more money than 25 million. And of course, the Diamondbacks again might have some reasons to want him to still stay around as well. There's also the idea that maybe you just pull the trigger, maybe you make that decision not to DFA him, but to put him in the bullpen and make him a reliever. That might do something in regards to upsetting him, and maybe in a very drastic situation causing him to choose to leave next season, since it's a player option. It's not likely, considering he most likely won't get more than 25 million somewhere else, but it doesn't mean that it's not out of the question, right?
Could you imagine? It's just such a disaster from both ends that Monty's literally like, I don't care about the money, the fact that this would be the most money I can make. Get me the hell out of humid Chase Field because I can't pitch there.
There is the idea there that he, might just be the opportunity to go somewhere else and pitch somewhere else and not have his career, derailed by being here. I don't know what the hell. I feel like we've talked entirely too much about Jordan Montgomery because he doesn't deserve that with the way he pitched tonight. We deserve to talk about the wonderful offense and, of course, the comeback kids here in the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Answerbacks answered back there in the 7th after Jordan Montgomery gave up the lead and made things look substantially harder for this team. With 1 out, you got Corbin Carroll walking. You get Jock Peterson walking with 2 outs. Josh Bell then brings Corbin Carroll home with an RBI single. You have Grant Randall Grichuk enter the game, and he walks to load the bases. And then, Damon, I think we were all robbed of an Adrian Del Castillo bat there. I really do feel like we were, because that could have just been like literally an instant legend being made there in Miami if Adrian Del Castillo got a second grand slam in this series. But he does get pinch hit for Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and everything goes the Diamondbacks' way in this case. Lourdes gets a 3 RBI double that clears the bases and gives the Diamondbacks a 7-6 lead. Of course, this was a night where you got a lot of home runs. Again, this team continues to lead Major League Baseball in home runs since July 1st or August 1st, excuse me. And they did it more tonight with the long ball. Jerry P, your guy, known, I guess vibes.
Known power hitter?
Now, vibes great. Known power hitter. Yeah. Known.
Has that ball come down yet, Derek? I'm wondering. I genuinely don't know.
15-foot home run, second longest of his career. The only time there was a longer one, he won against the Braves in 2022 that went slightly longer. But that monster home run in the 8th inning was huge. It gave the Diamondbacks some breathing room. And honestly, I mean, it was needed because this Marlins team didn't quit themselves. They came back. They continued to score against this bullpen that, I mean, they held it together tonight, Damon. The wheels were shaky, but they stayed on. The wheels did not fall off of the bullpen tonight. They maybe should check their tire pressure before going to the bullpen, but they still got the job done. It wasn't pretty. Floro went out there, completed Montgomery's 6th inning, and then you had Ginkel come out, who's just an absolute goddamn stud. 2 strikeouts, 1 inning, a 1-2-3 inning for Ginkel. There was no issues when Kevin Ginkel was out there, but Joe Mantiply looked a little shaky for him. He really couldn't do much. He gave up 2 hits. He got a third of an innings pitched. He tried to field the ball there that was kind of a difficult play. And so they turned to Justin Martinez for essentially 1 2/3 innings. And it wasn't perfect. He loaded the bases there in the 9th inning and gave us all a nice butt clinching there, I guess you could say, with how tight this game got. But he got the job done. He gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, but he struck out 4. He walked 1, and the Diamondbacks get the win 10-8. This was a weird series. Things were not looking good after playing 3 games at the Trop, right? So you kind of wondered, how quickly things might change for this team that was so hot coming into this East Coast road trip. And luckily they kind of, it's almost like they now cancel out that series by sweeping the Marlins here.
Yeah, it does feel that way. Like, I guess the way I was looking at it, and I was thinking about this during the game, when it was kind of on the margins, like whether we could possibly lose or not. 2-1 wouldn't have felt as good. Like going 2-1 against the Marlins after getting swept against the Rays, that really, I don't think that would have, like, people in the chat here, I think they'd be kind of like upset about the series and how it went. Sweeping the Marlins, that feels a little bit better. Like now it feels like the Diamondbacks are back on track. Feels like, we kind of are headed in that direction that we want to be heading in. And
especially the way they came back tonight, right? Yeah. Like the fact that they were down, the fact that their starting pitching kind of did not have a great night and put them behind, and they still found a way to come back and win this game.
Yeah, it was great. This team continues to hit really well late innings. Like I think a lot of people probably have seen the stat of the WRC plus across baseball in the 9th inning, and the Diamondbacks are second in the league behind the Padres, who are just astronomically ahead of everybody else, and it makes no sense. But we had the magic tonight. The Padres didn't, and they can suck it. And we have the number 1 wild card spot, I'm pretty sure, right?
No, we're going to talk about that here shortly, and we have so much more to talk about. But of course, we have to give our king snake to somebody, and that is our pinch hitting hero himself, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. 2 for 2 tonight. Biggest double of the game, brought in those 3 runs, gave the Diamondbacks a lead, and then he added another one in the 9th inning with an RBI single that brought in Jose Herrera that made this a 10-7 lead. There were more runs scored in that 9th inning, including Jose Herrera hitting an RBI triple that scored Kevin Newman, that the Marlins played absolutely terribly. But Lourdes Gurriel, again, he has not been hitting a lot of home runs. This one was very close to a grand slam. However, it was just he's just been doing enough. He's been fairly incredible for this team. And the Diamondbacks, they need Lourdes, right? Like they need more guys that can come through for them, especially with, missing Ketel Marte right now. But, La Pina hitting I think 370 now with 2 doubles and 7 RBI in his last 11 games. So this man's just been pretty incredible for the Diamondbacks lately.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, right, where like it feels like he kind of has his ebbs and his flows throughout the season, where he really catches fire and carries the team for a little bit, and then he really, really cools down when he cools down. Gino is another guy I feel like that's pretty similar. But hopefully we're getting Lourdes starting to heat up a little bit, because that would be absolutely huge for this team.
Huge.
Go ahead.
No, I said huge. I was just agreeing with you.
He's just like it did, like you mentioned earlier, like it would have been cool to see Del Castillo come up big in that spot. And it is a little bit weird that we would take him out, I think, with the way he's been swinging the bat.
Yeah. He was 2 for 3 today. Like it wasn't even like he was having a day where he was struggling at the plate.
Yeah.
They just liked the matchup, and you got to tip your cap to Torrey for going to Lourdes. Yeah. It worked, right? And Gino, I think, popped out the very next, at bat in his first pitch scene. So that could have gone like that. And maybe it goes that way for Adrian Del Castillo. We don't know. We don't live in that timeline. It's a different timeline that doesn't exist. We live in this one now. And then this one, Lourdes Gurriel is our king snake. Of course, we have more to discuss about this game, but we have to take a break really fast. And of course, when we do that, I got to let you know that I, once again, am here in my home with all these video games behind me, thanks to the good folks at Desert Financial Credit Union. For more than 84 years, Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, Desert Financial is dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make your life better. And of course, they have trusted professionals that will help you with whatever your financial goals are, and especially a bank you can trust, somewhere that is committed to giving back to the community and sharing success with its members. When you open a free checking account online right now, you can get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. And I botched the Bet 365 ad read at the top, so I owe these people an apology. But of course, Bet 365 does in fact make sports more fun, especially live in-game betting, which they helped pioneer, and they offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. So right now, check out all that you have to bet on over there at Bet 365, and of course, bet on baseball, because right now they have their early payout offer where you are a winner if your team goes up by 5 runs with an instant payout. Of course, parlay and same game parlay selections will be marked as winners as well. And of course, right now, when you sign up, new customers can choose one of 2 offers using our code of PHNX365. All you got to do is deposit $10 and choose between a bet and get offer where you place a $5 bet and get $150 in bonus bets. Of course, you also have your first bet safety net offer where you can place up to $1,000 bet. And if your qualifying bet loses, you will receive a matched refund in bonus bets. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHNX365 when you sign up. Choose your offer and find out why it is never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or over and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov.
I was watching the game earlier, Derek, and they had a Bet 365 commercial where, of course, Jesse from Breaking Bad is the spokesperson.
Right.
And I felt like it was personally speaking to me because I hadn't really analyzed the commercial before, but it's a stadium full of people and they're live betting on curling. Like that's kind of the concept of the commercial is like, hey, it's like you're in the stadium because you're live betting it and you guys are all rooting for this curling match together. And I have literally sat down and watched curling till like 3 a.m. while betting on it. And I will tell you, it is pretty much the most electric sporting event.
Exhilarating. It's amazing. I love curling so much.
It's the best. It's the best.
It really
I
is.
love I'm a curling addict. I don't know what to tell you.
We need to get the boys together
to do your curling betting.
Right.
No
we
doubt.
can go to Ice Den or somewhere and go do some curling. I know they do that somewhere in this state. I've seen the ads for it and I've always wanted to go. So now I have someone that I can ask for that. That is amazing.
Let's do it. Let's become just like complete curling heads.
Yeah, absolutely. Tossing the stone down the ice. Let's go.
Merrill will join with us. She's
Canadian. Oh yeah. I just got her a scarf the other day so that she's fit for the cold weather now.
Perfect.
She's ready to go. All right, well, let's take a look at the count from this game presented by Desert Financial Credit Union. Actually, this is the series count. So let's take a look at the numbers from the series because the Diamondbacks did not score that much tonight, even though it kind of felt like it. They outscored the Marlins in this series 22-15. They get out hit by the Marlins 33-24, which is surprising, but not really with the way that some of these games have gone. Runners in scoring position, the Marlins were 7 for 36 for a 194 batting average. Diamondbacks, meanwhile, were 9 for 26 for a 346 batting average. Specifically today, the Marlins were 4 for 17 with runners in scoring position. They squandered a lot of opportunities there to score some runs. Of course, starting pitching ERA, not too different. The Marlins had a 7.07 ERA to the Diamondbacks 6.06, but the Diamondbacks relief pitching ERA was pretty damn good, 3.37 in this one to the Marlins 7.62. That's where the Diamondbacks did most of their damage today. But the Marlins also had just weird outings. I mean, their starters went 4 2/3, 6 innings, and 3 1/3. So they had a lot of innings pitched by their bullpen in this series. And their bullpen's not very good. So the Diamondbacks were able to capitalize against that bullpen.
Their pitching in general is just horrific, isn't it? Like, I mean, if I was a Marlins fan, that's the type of team where it's like tough to watch when your bullpen is going out there and giving you a 7 ERA and like you have leads, but you're just blowing it late in games. That's pretty brutal. And yeah, I mean, the Marlins are just not a good team. The D-backs did what they're supposed to do against a team that has, college level, minor league level pitchers and their staff.
I mean, both of those teams in Florida don't have very good pitching, but the Rays were able to do what they did against the Diamondbacks, and the Marlins, held the Diamondbacks to just 3 runs yesterday. So again, this like you said, that game wasn't very pretty either, but the Diamondbacks found a way to win, and they've been doing that a lot lately. Going back to what I said off the top, the Diamondbacks record now is they've won 13 of their last 15 series, and they have swept 3 of their last 5. That's just impressive. That's incredible what this team has been able to do. They have a tough test ahead, which we will be talking about tomorrow. We'll be previewing the series with the Boston Red Sox there at Fenway. But yeah, this series was just important. You know, you were coming off such a high after those series against the Guardians and the Phillies, and now you come in, you know, to Florida against teams that you should beat, and unfortunately, they really struggled like they have historically against the Rays at Tropicana. But again, it's just a nice confidence booster to know that they could get right against a bad Marlins team and now look ahead, because their schedule is very tough from this point forward. And I mean, they have a couple of series left kind of peppered in there with the Rockies and some other teams that might not be playing great baseball right now, but they have a tough road ahead, especially right now with the Boston Red Sox, the New York Mets, and the Los Angeles Dodgers as their next 3 series.
Yeah, the Mets and the Red Sox too, I mean, in particular, like, those are teams that, you know, the Diamondbacks are better than, but they're still pretty solid, good baseball teams that you have to take seriously. Like the Dodgers, I don't think that there's going to be any question that the Diamondbacks are going to get up for that series. That's like it's obvious when you're, you know, a couple games out of the division that you're going to, you know, treat that like it's kind of like a, you know, World Series playoff type environment. But those Red Sox and Mets series, those are going to be really big for the Diamondbacks, sustaining this kind of level of play that they've had recently in this part of the season.
I mean, I feel like this is us discussing a few other stretches where there was a time they had the Padres and the Dodgers coming up, and it was like, oh boy, I hope they don't get wrecked after the way that they just lost to the Twins. And then the Diamondbacks went on an incredible stretch. They came in here against the Guardians and the Phillies, and that was like, oh, here come the big boys. Now is a real test. And
Yeah,
I feel like they passed that test pretty efficiently. But
definitely.
baseball, Damon, is so goddamn fickle that here we go. We lose fucking 1 series to the Rays, and people were ready to come in here and turn Chase Field into a parking lot again. And you know how that feels, because again, this is close, right? And you can't go off and you can't lose 3 games, you know, to a bad Rays team and not look up at the standings and see that you lost some pretty significant ground. Fortunately, the Padres also lost some games in there as well. Not everybody won, not everybody kept winning, but this division keeps winning. And of course, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. We also need to talk about the fact that Jesse's already in Canada. It's probably freezing where he's at, and that upsets me a lot. It
I think
upsets
it's
me.
like 70 degrees, Derek. I don't think it's freezing at all. I think it's
That's
beautiful
freezing
outside.
to me. You don't understand like temperature. My body reacts in ridiculous ways to temperatures. If it's not 82 degrees perfectly, I am not happy. I'm either going to be sweating or I'm going
Your
to be
Puerto
cold.
Rican blood is just, you
Yeah.
need just island
It's the
style.
island temperature. You get
Yeah.
it? Yeah, 82 to 86 max. That's all I can handle. Oh man, but
I'd love a good 70s right now, man. I
I
mean,
would too.
I run hot. You know, I'm an Arizona boy. I lived here my whole life, so I'm not as like adverse to the heat as a lot of people are. Like I can really deal with 90s. To me is perfectly acceptable. But man, does 70s not feel good? And man, am I not jealous of Jesse?
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Well, Piece of Yoshi, thank you for your super chat. Piece of Yoshi sent a super chat that said Monty almost ruined Guillorme's debut. He did almost do that. Diamondbacks are undefeated in the Guillorme era, but I will
Undefeated in
say
the Archie Bradley era of
undefeated
PHNX
in
back.
the Archie Bradley era of PHNX. You're not wrong.
Coincidence?
Can't be. It absolutely can't be. There's no possible way that's a coincidence. I will say this, though, in regards to Montgomery, the Diamondbacks really just have to get to the playoffs, right? The Diamondbacks have a solid 4-man rotation. I guess, I don't know. That's probably hyperbolic to say solid. We still don't know what we're going to get out of Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly going forward. We still don't know, I think it's odd, but the only guys right now, you could count on is Brandon Pfaadt and Ryan Nelson. And we're considering pushing one of those guys out of the starting rotation. That's absolutely crazy. It's bonkers. And I hope that's not the direction we're heading. Of course, much like most of you, I feel like that's the direction it's heading. And that part sucks because that decision is determined by money and not necessarily by who the better pitcher is. However, I will say this. The Diamondbacks just need to get to the playoffs, right? And at that point, I think that we will see a completely different, starting rotation. The Diamondbacks don't even necessarily need, 5-man, let alone 6. So, I don't know. Maybe when we get there, maybe that's when Jordan Montgomery can no longer hurt us. I don't know, but I'm just saying that feels like, we know that they were able to get by and get to the World Series with basically a 3-man rotation, right? And I know they're not going to do that, but if Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen can get back on track, Eduardo Rodriguez has looked fairly solid. You could have Ryan Nelson in the mix being used. You could maybe even use Jordan Montgomery, and it's not going to be just this. Yeah, you know what I mean. Use him. You out of the bullpen is what I'm saying. Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I just think that, again, this is more about getting this team to the playoffs more than him being a big part of, the playoff run necessarily. And maybe they can do that. Maybe they can manage that, have him be an asset, hopefully somewhat in the meantime, where at least he eats up innings. Tonight was a great example of the fact that he can at least bounce back, right? He gave up those big 4 runs in that inning, and then he managed, at least to not have to leave the game and now burn Ryan Nelson, who will most likely start in game 1 against the Boston Red Sox. So that's at least something.
He's an innings eater, I think, at this point. That's kind of how I view him, at least. And if he does pitch at all in the playoffs, I assume it's going to be in blowout capacity. Like, hey, we don't want to burn, even Joe Mantiply is too valuable for next game, so we don't want to burn him like that. It would be that kind of situation, which is crazy to say, because if we talked about this, if I told you we'd be here when we signed Monty, you'd call me an insane person. Because he seemed
help the Rangers beat us last year.
He was so good in the playoffs last year. But on top of that, he's just been a pretty consistent pitcher for the majority of his career in baseball. Like he's not really a guy that's had these up and down type seasons. Like he's always been, even in his down years, like a high 3 ERA type of guy, which is a very good pitcher. So it's really disappointing where we're at with him. And I wanted to mention real quick, Derek, before we move too far off of it, with when Justin Martinez painted that low outside strike 3 on Xavier Edwards
and made him lose his goddamn mind.
How big of a clown do you think Xavier Edwards felt like when he went back into the dugout, said, angrily told somebody, show me the iPad, I want to see where that pitch was, and then looked at it and then was like, oh,
I'll get my things.
Yeah. Oh, it was in the strike zone by this much. Like I bet you, I cannot imagine how stupid he felt when he, because I guarantee you he wanted to see where that pitch was, because he was so adamant that it was out of the zone.
What's wild about that? You got to give the Diamondbacks a lot of credit, because they have had some egregious strike calls this year. Egregious, like absolutely worth getting tossed from a game over and kicking dirt onto an umpire's shoes like you're a 3-year-old, like complete absolute tantrum meltdown worthy fucking bad calls. And we've never seen a member of this team act the way that we saw that man act tonight on a call that was so absolutely in the strike zone. That's what Justin Martinez does to you. He drives you insane because you just can't believe that his stuff is that good. That was a 91 mile per hour slider, if I'm not mistaken, in the zone, after he threw him 102 mile per hour fastball up and in. Like your eyes don't adjust back to what the strike zone is at times after that. And like, oh man, Yeah, Piece of Yoshi says he saw Jose Herrera's framing and thought
He's
it was
not
a call.
wrong. I mean,
Yeah,
Herrera put it like way out of the zone. So I like he must have just looked back at the glove and been like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
egregious. But it was so clearly a strike. And I couldn't help but think about just like I would pay money to watch the live reaction of him looking at where that strike
yeah,
was. That would be so fun because I guarantee you he was just hot. And then right when he saw it, silent. Handed the iPad back to somebody. Everybody get out of my face. I feel like a clown.
yeah. Yeah, it was something. It was something. Well, of course, the Diamondbacks did manage a huge comeback tonight. That is no lie. Of course, I'm a known liar. Damon, questionable at best, but we know that the numbers, they never lie, Damon. So for tonight's number that doesn't lie, I know Jesse's probably furious with me that I even did this. This is like when Jesse does my ending and he messes up the end, remember, kids? But I'm going to try my best here. All right, tonight's number that doesn't lie is 93%, Damon. 93%. And I'm sure you might have taken a peek and seen what this already is, but 93% was the Marlins win probability in the 7th inning after Jake McCarthy struck out. That's how high their win probability got before the Diamondbacks turned things around in that exact same inning and completed the comeback. And I like the fact that it was after Jake McCarthy struck out, because I don't think Baseball Savant was the only one that thought that they had a 93 win probability at that point. I think we all thought that they had a 93% win probability at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't looking good. But let's talk about it, Derek. You texted me specifically and you said, if the comeback's going to happen, it's got to happen this inning. And you picked the exact right inning for the comeback to happen. It was like clockwork, Derek. It was pretty impressive stuff out of you.
It's, you know why, is because this team just seems to, especially against a team with a bad bullpen, they seem to be able to get things started the minute that they get past that guy. And tonight it wasn't necessarily the starter. It just felt like it was the fact that they had a kind of a bullpen game for the Tampa Bay Rays tonight. I mean, their bullpen pitched 5 2/3 innings in this game. So it wasn't a short outing for the bullpen, but it felt like that was the time, especially Perdomo up. You had Perdomo up, you had Corbin Carroll coming up, you had Jake up. It just felt like the time. Everything always starts with Domo. And of course, tonight that comeback started with Corbin Carroll getting on base. But I think that was the most impressive thing, is that the team managed to do most of the damage there in that inning with 2 outs. And they got that dog in them, Damon. They just don't quit.
Yeah, they do. They do have the dog in them. And another quick little funny story I wanted to tell that I thought from tonight's game that popped in my head during the game was when Herrera hit that triple yesterday. Jesse said to me, and I'm not kidding, Jose Herrera has never hit in a home run in his major league career, and he probably never will. And you have no clue how hard I was rooting for to send him home from third base and just hope that he got an inside the Parker for his first major league home run a day after Jesse said he will never hit an MLB home run.
I have never seen a baseball team quit in the middle of an inning the way that they quit once that ball squeaked through and got all the way to the outfield wall. But yeah, there was not a lot of hustle in the Marlins at that point. And I feel like if that was Corbin Carroll, he would have scored. He would have scored 1,000 times over. He might have been able to run the bases twice. I don't know.
If that was Corbin Carroll, there's probably a chance that the center fielder doesn't even try to dive and make that catch, because he knows that Corbin would easily score if he misses it. Jose Herrera, he's like, he won't make it. He won't make it home.
Yeah. Well, we have some updates for you on the National League West and how well they've been playing when we come back from our break. But of course, I did want to tell you guys all to make sure you check out the PHNX Diehard memberships. If you haven't done so already, make sure to check out gophnx.com. Of course, you can get yourself that Diehard membership, get yourself all sorts of wonderful benefits, including a free t-shirt from the phnxlocker.com, like this bad boy that I'm wearing right here. Got all sorts of other stuff. Someone else pointed out earlier that I was wearing a Scottsdale Scorpions hat. I apologize for that. I know we're a Rafters family, so I apologize, RA, for for my lack of allegiance here with my with my fall ball cap. But of course, make sure to check out all the wonderful shirts we have at phnxlocker.com. We have a fun surprise for you guys coming very soon. Going to be able to shop all city lockers all in one place. So if you want to pick out some stuff, if you want to be traders to us, you'll be able to do so then. And of course, if you're a diehard, your membership will work on all of that stuff. So of course, now is a great time to sign up, become a diehard. You get all Jesse's content. You get access to our Discord lounge. We're bringing back squeeze play. We got some fun stuff coming up, including I saw backyard baseball is coming back, and I cannot wait for that, because when that comes, Jesse and I will do nothing but play each other in backyard baseball on Discord. But of course, make sure to check out the membership options over at gophnx.com now. Of course, Damon is in Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. We thank them so much for being America's thirst stop. Right now, you can stop by Circle K, get yourself any size Polar Pop for 79 cents, get yourself any size Froster for 79 cents. One is a liquid drink. One is an icy slushy type drink. You can mix and match your flavors. No one's going to judge you. No one is going to judge you. As long as you don't go with Jesse at Circle K, he will absolutely judge you. But of course, if you join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today, you can save even more money, perhaps get free Polar Pop, free snacks, free all sorts of free stuff in the Circle K app when you join the Inner Circle for free. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. Also, right now is a great time of the year. I mean, I know summer is coming to an end, but it's never not sunny in Phoenix, right? It's always sunny in Phoenix, Arizona, and you need yourself a quality pair of shades. So make sure to grab yourself some shades from our friends at Shady Rays. Future is bright for the Arizona Diamondbacks, so you need to plan accordingly. Get ready for all times of the year with our friends at Shady Rays. Of course, if you're a big skier, they have a snowboarder. They got some stuff for you over there. They got hundreds of styles to choose from over at Shady Rays. They got polarized sunglasses with crystal clear optics and durable frames. Of course, they are also backed by one of the craziest warranties in all of eyewear. They tell us if you break or lose your Shady Rays on day one, they will send you a new pair. No questions asked, no guilt. Again, Jesse, he'll heap the guilt on you. But of course, you can also exchange your Shady Rays for free if you do not love them, or you can get your money back within 30 days, no questions asked at all. Their customer support has your back at all times. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. And Damon, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm really mad at the National League West right now because of how good they've been. So I feel like in honor of Shady Rays, it's time to throw some shade. Do we have some throwing shade music? NL West. Thank you, Damon. I'll take the floor now. National League West, you bunch of assholes. Why are you so goddamn good? I am sick to my stomach of looking at the standings just to see the motherfucking Los Angeles Dodgers and the goddamn San Diego Padres winning game after game after game as the Arizona Diamondbacks continue to try to make their way up the ranks in the National League West. The National League West, even though they all lost tonight besides the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers who are still playing, are 38 games over 500 since the All-Star break as a division. They are 95-57 since the All-Star break. No other division in baseball even has a goddamn winning record in that time span. And of course, this has to be the division we're in. When Torey Lovullo said he wishes the best players would stop coming to the National League West, this is the shit he meant. This shit right here. I fucking had it. Stop winning. I've had it. Give the Diamondbacks a chance. That's all I'm saying. I can't believe I don't have that much energy this late at night, Damon, but these teams have been so goddamn good. It makes me sick. But you know what? They all lost today. So the Diamondbacks managed to actually move up in the standings a little bit, and it's good to see. Of course, it really doesn't matter, right? Jesse and I keep going over this whole positioning and where the Diamondbacks really want to ultimately end up when the wild card is all said and done and we're at the playoffs, and what's better, and of course Archie didn't help out the other day, because you heard Archie was like, you don't want to win the division, you don't want that week off. And I was like, see, that's what I've been saying, but I don't even know what I want them to do. I almost sincerely want the Diamondbacks to just get the third wild card spot again like they did last year, because that seems to be the path of least resistance with the way things are shaping up right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Brewers that'd be fantastic, to be honest with you. Like that on paper, that's by far the best matchup. We talked about it a lot ad nauseum last year. The third wild card spot is better than the first two wild card spots, I would argue. But I'm honestly, I'm just glad Kevin was here in the chat for you to throw shade. He's not in every show. He can, he catches him when he can, but he always wants you to throw shade, Derek. So this was special that he was here tonight. That was for you, Kevin. I think that was specifically for you.
All right. I just have to hit some stuff sometimes when I throw shade. I'm just so tired of this. And again, it's weird, because you have those times where in life where you're like, I should feel more joy right now. And then you're like, oh yeah, I have that pending, speeding ticket that I still have to pay. That's why in the back of my head, I'm still not happy, right? It's like, no matter how much we get to enjoy these comeback victories, these stretches, these sweeps that the Diamondbacks go on, you look up, and even though the Padres were losing 7-4 a few minutes ago, now they're up 8-7 and win the game. And you're just like, they make me sick. They make me want to puke, but I'll tell you, at the end of the day,
Padres and Dodgers do that a lot. And we have reports from Ryan in the chat that there was a benches clearing in LA. And to me, I don't know about you guys, but I think Ohtani needs to be in jail. That's just kind of, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen any of it. I don't know who is at fault, but
you know who's at fault. You know who to pin it on.
Yeah.
That's Decoy.
Yeah.
Ohtani's dog.
At least, you know what? I'm sure that he had a fall guy lined up for for that benches clearing brawl where he whispered into Max Muncy's ear, hey, why don't you go get in this guy's face and smack him in the back of the head or something?
Oh, I thought you meant he was lining up his interpreter to take the fall again. I don't know how that works. I don't even
know if they allow him to have an interpreter in the dugout anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't know how that works either. Directly to Guantanamo, as B says here. But no, I don't. Look, I think that no matter what happens here, the Diamondbacks, if they make the playoffs, it's going to be earned at this point with how difficult the stretch is ahead and with how good these other teams are playing. But the Diamondbacks, those teams also have to fear the Diamondbacks. Let's get our big boy pants on, Damon. I know you want this kind of talk. They have to play us, and we're doing that to them too. We're doing that. They looked over, they saw the fucking Marlins were up 6-3 tonight. They were like, yeah. And then they look over and they say, oh shit, why are the Diamondbacks up 10-7? So we're just as bad to them as they are to us. And
remind me again, who's the reigning NL champions, Derek? Is it the Padres or the Dodgers? No, it's not.
I wear this ring all the time just in case this conversation ever comes up, Damon. So yeah, you're right. I know who won.
NL runs through us. It really does. And you're right. They have to play us, and we're a scary team. And we have dogs in our bullpen and in our starting rotation. We just need to get if Zach and Gallen get on track, or Zach and Merrill, I should say, not Zach and Gallen. But if Zach and Merrill get on track, I feel like we are a team that no one wants to face again. And after seeing what we did last season,
I really think the Diamondbacks are that team. And I mean, of course, they're a little less scary when you look at the starting lineup that doesn't contain a Christian Walker and doesn't contain a Ketel Marte right now. Right. But hopefully the Diamondbacks will get those guys back here shortly. Christian Walker should be back by the time the Diamondbacks return to Chase Field. That should be the estimated time of arrival on him. It could be maybe not until that series with the Dodgers. They might give him that series with the Mets off, but that's a very important series, and I'm sure they want him back as soon as possible. No, I'm not. I'm not really. I'm not doing this. You're not going to put me in a position where I have to read super chats that say things like this. That's what Jesse is here for. I keep on the show.
This is a Jesse super chat for sure. That he's totally in on stuff like this.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, but you call him See Clearly. Thank you as always for your super chats that definitely don't make us feel extremely uncomfortable every single time that we read them.
I mean, no judgment here. Like, again, Jesse's not here, so no judgment's being passed at all. However, I feel like I should at least give a patented Jesse, oh gosh, here, right? Okay. Anyway, Jesse is disappointed right now. Ryan, you're not wrong. We do appreciate all of your guys' of course comments, all of you guys for being here in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. We will be back tomorrow, by the way. This guy Damon and I will be co-hosting a show together, still Archie Bradley-less, but we'll bring our best beard game tomorrow, and we'll be talking about that series with the Boston Red Sox, what the Diamondbacks have ahead beyond that. We'll also be talking about our power rankings and, of course, some more about what they're going to do with this starting rotation going forward. So make sure to join us. Kevin Conqueso, thank you for your super chat. He says, happy birthday, Corbin Carroll. We would be doing a disservice if we did not wish a happy birthday to our current and reigning Roy, Rookie of the Year himself, the man that just mashes dingers lately, Corbin Carroll. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch you be a part of our team, and happy birthday.
You're our sweet baby boy.
You're our sweet baby boy, 24 years old. It's hard to remember that Corbin Carroll is just 24, right? Like, we do that with like Justin Martinez and we do that with other guys, but my goodness, man, Corbin Carroll, not still baby himself, So leave a like for Corbin.
Like for his birthday.
Yeah,
he told me
like
that
for his birthday. That's what he told Damon for sure. Also, what else we got for a super chat there, Damon? We got Piece of Yoshi said the NL West, when the Diamondbacks bullpen isn't blowing it, the opponents of their division rivals bullpen is. Yep, that sums it up. And it's also very hurtful, but it's correct. It's accurate. Can be both hurtful and accurate. That's the way things work in life. Of course, that's also how our comments and what people say about me kind of equate to. We thank you guys, of course, so much for being here. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. I'm at Cap_Caveman with a K. The People's Producer, Damon, is at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. I am Damon's dog. Bark, bark. Of course, our show is at PHNX_DBacks, but all roads do lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you again so much for you guys for stopping by. We will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. So make sure to join us. No game tomorrow, but hopefully we can be that baseball entertainment for you. So until then, we hope you guys have a wonderful night. We appreciate you so much for stopping by. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when your opponents in the NL West actually lose a game.
We all silly like the mayor.